Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today is going to be a very special project because me and my daughter Ella will be making a bug hotel. So please make sure you stay tuned. So these are all the things that we're going to be using. So Ella will tell us a little bit about why we are making this bug hotel, why she decided to make this bug hotel, and where we got the ingredients from. So Ella, you're on. So where did we get the can from? First of all, why are we making this bug hotel?
For my friend.
For your friend's
birthday.
Yeah, that's right. And why did you want to make her a bug hotel?
Because she loves nature and wildlife.
That's right. So would you like to tell us about where we got these ingredients from? Let's start with the can.
We got the can from this kind of... It's like a cafe. I can't remember what it's called, but they have massive cans.
Yes, so we were going to use originally just can that we would get from the supermarket, but they are very small. So what we decided, we actually went into the local restaurant. It was one of the cafes. We went into a couple of restaurants because we thought that they would have massive containers, and we were right. So there was this place. It's a local bistro. Yeah, so it's a local bistro. And when we went in there, we told them what we needed, and they said, okay, we're going to save you. How many do you need? So we went back and we actually got 2 because this is not the first one.
I already made mine last week.
Yes, so that was the prototype, wasn't it? So we kind of knew what to do now. So yeah, so we got this from the local bistro cafe, and they already taken the paper off, so it was quite handy. And what I did, I just used an electrician tape. It wasn't really sharp, but I just wanted to make sure that nothing's sketching, it's safe to handle. So I just put an electrician tape around it. So that's from the cafe. Great way to recycle. Ella, would you like to tell us about the yarn? Where did you get the yarn from?
We got it from a charity shop.
So that's right. So Ella decided to use these 2 colors for her friend. Which one did you use for yourself?
I just used the brown one.
She just used the brown one. So yeah, so we're gonna need some yarn. All right, let's move on. So what have you got next?
Next we have these pine things. Is it?
Yes.
Or these evergreen leaves.
So evergreen leaves. So where did we get these from?
We got these from a duck pond.
Yeah, so we've got this little park where we live, and we went and we were looking for anything that was in nature because that's perfect for bugs, right, Ella?
Yeah.
So we got some evergreens, some lovely
bark. We found it on the ground, actually. We didn't take off any trees. We found it on the ground.
That's right, because we wanted to make sure that we get everything from the ground, so do not pick on the trees. And what about the moss?
We found this actually on the road, or like the pavement.
It was very strange because we didn't really know where to get the moss from.
We also got these near our place.
Yes, because we've got a lot of, we are kind of high up, so we've got some moss. But that kind of, when we were looking for stuff, just ended up on the pavement. So it's absolutely perfect. It was meant to be. Moving on to the pine cones.
We found these like near this pine tree, but there was so many. We tried to pick as many as we could, but there was too many.
Yeah, so we found there was a pine tree again by the road, and we just picked whatever we found on the pavement. It was perfect. This was actually so much better than in the park. So moving on. So we got some sticks, right?
Yeah, we got more sticks than this.
It's just a bit of a filler for the bugs because I think they would love it. And again...
And we got another evergreen pine thing.
Yes, again, we found it on the ground in the park.
Oh, and a tiny one.
And a baby one as well. And we've got Chili Cat exploring as well because she absolutely loves to get involved.
She does.
So Chili Cat, you need to move along, my love. And we've got this kitchen towel roll. To be honest, if it wasn't for Ella's friend, we would just be using toilet rolls, but it's not very hygienic. So I
actually was collecting 7 of the toilet rolls. And then I had one of these that a spare that I also used for arts and crafts. So if you have any leftovers, if you're going to be making this, then you can just use it for arts and crafts.
Yes, because it's really good. So anyway, so paper towel, kitchen towel, raw, and we're gonna need some hot glue, quite a few of these actually, because we will have to make sure that everything will get stuck together, because we don't want anything to kind of start falling off. So we're gonna crack on. So I'm gonna be recording Ella. So hopefully you'll be able to get these, but you can just improvise whatever you've got in the garden, whatever you think Box would like. Just get and just have fun. So we're gonna, what are we gonna do first, Ella?
We're going to get the can and wrap around some yarn. And also, if you don't have a can or anywhere, you can just use a jar, because we've used that one before and it works pretty well.
Yeah, that's right. So we actually have a glass jar that we made quite a few years ago. So it was just a gem jar, a glass one, and we just put some sticks and some bits and pieces inside. So we're gonna crack on now. Also, it's very important to kind of cover your work surface, because this is going to be a messy business. And what we forgot, you're going to need a pair of scissors as well to cut your yarn. So Ella also said you have to be careful with the scissors, obviously. She's very good.
You have to be very careful with them. You can also add a hanging pine cone if you think it would look better. I did that with my one. I think it looks very nice.
So what we can do also, because Ella started on the yarn, but I'm just going to be plugging in the hot glue gun, because what we need to do, we actually need to, before you start winding it on like Ella, we need to make sure that we secure the yarn with the hot glue gun. So Ella's doing a great job. She can carry on doing that, but initially it makes life a little bit easier if we use the hot glue gun to kind of glue down the yarn, and it just keeps everything in place quite nicely. So because Ella originally wanted to use the green one as well, so she cut the yarn, but then she changed her mind. So what we've got here, she kind of
I tied
Mm-hmm.
the beginning and end together, and then there's going to be another cut strip somewhere. Like this is maybe the end.
So anyway, ideally, we should, before we
Glue it
start,
down.
so before we start winding it around, we need to hot glue it. So what we're gonna do, I know she tied it together. So if you get the bit that's tied together, I'm gonna hot glue it. So we're gonna hot glue this bit. This, as I said, Ella tied it together, but let's say if it's not tied, so ideally this should be done before we start winding. So have to be very careful. So we're just gonna put a little bit of hot glue here, and Ella will be using a small stick.
Or a large stick.
Or a large stick. She chose a large stick. I don't know why. Here we go. And make sure that obviously it's all, so it's all nice and secure, because we don't want this to go anywhere. Good job, Ella. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna carry on winding the yarn around the can. So I think it's a very good thing to do with your kids. I mean, Ella is 8, but you'll be able to do this when they are younger or when they are older, anytime really. I mean, Ella is very good. As you can see, she's good at just putting the yarn around the can. I think when she made hers, she didn't cover it, or did you, babes?
No.
Are you going to cover this a little bit more? I think you should.
I'm going to just add a little bit more from here, because it's just going to take hours and hours if I don't.
But yeah, so you can put as little or as much yarn around it. I personally would cover it all, but depending on how patient your child is.
I am not very patient.
Well, here it is. Okay, so we're going to do another hot glue gun here. So very, very careful. So I would just keep the hot glue gun plugged in at all times because you're gonna need it quite a bit. Okay, that's it. Azzy, are you gonna put a little bit more on?
More of what?
More yarn. You're done now with your yarn, are you?
Yeah.
Okay. So here is your answer. I would cover it a little bit more, but just have fun with your kid. So what are we gonna do next, Els?
I'm gonna cut this because I don't need it that long. And then you have to use the yarn if you'd like. You don't have to. I didn't do it for mine, but I'm going to do it for hers. Where you... Oh, and also we put tape around the edges because it can be sharp and you don't want to get cut with it. It wouldn't be very fun.
That's right. So yeah, so we didn't do this bit for Ella's.
Because I just put it on the ground. I don't need to hang it up.
So what are we doing now, Els?
Attaching this hanging thing where you can hang it up if you'd like to. She doesn't have to if she doesn't want to, but she can if she wants.
Because I think when we talked about this, we thought, oh, we would just hot glue it to the edges. But Ella said, why did we not do it that way?
Because then it can come off.
It can come off, so it does.
And because if you put it just on here, then I would normally just like touch it and then it would just like slide off. Because it's not. Like if you sanded this, I think it may be a little bit better, but still, I would probably do it this way.
Very good. So Ella kind of put it through.
Not all of the yarn pieces, but some of them. Right here.
Again, you can just go wild. You can just do whatever you fancy doing, really. So where do you keep it? So yours is not hung up, Ella, is it?
No, I put it on the ground in the garden.
Okay. Yeah, so we put it, Ella's got a little bit of area where she's got her bit at the back of the garden, her flowers, so she put it there. So we're gonna hot glue on it. But what we're gonna do is have to be very, very careful. I don't want to burn your finger, babes. So very, very careful. Make sure you don't touch it. It's extremely hot, okay? I think we could have just tied it, to be honest.
I know, but that's just... Can you do a little more?
Make sure it's over the table so nothing's gonna, because hot glue is just, it's very hot and it's very, very messy.
Okay.
You're gonna tie, babes, you reckon? Would be better? I think so.
I'm also going to tie. I'm going to do both. There we go. The hanging bit is done.
There, can you see?
Okay, it needs to be on stronger.
So yeah, so what we did with Ella's, because hers is on the ground, and I just thought rather than sitting on the ground, we can just put, what did we put underneath?
We put a couple twigs so it doesn't get all dirty underneath it. So it's kind of propped up a little.
How are we doing there with the knot?
Good. Messy, but I almost did it. There we go. The hanging bit is done.
Very good. Good. All right, so what's next, Taz?
Next, you need the hot glue gun again. But before you do the hot glue, you can because you're not sure what size it needs to be, you can place it down before actually gluing it. I'm just going to do 2 pieces for hers. So, yeah.
Alright, so shall we put it on the other side or this side, because it's going to face down? So let's do it over the table. I think that's a good idea. Over here again, as I said, very careful with the hot glue gun. Obviously, if your kids are quite young, you don't want them anywhere close to the hot glue gun. But Ella is a very sensible one. I think we should put it on the other side.
I called myself one of the most sensible people in my class, even though I'm not sure my teacher would think that.
Very
Because
good.
I'm very chatty.
You are very chatty, yeah.
But then it would stick down if you put it upside
Yeah,
down.
so that's what we learned last time, I think, when we set
And then
up.
we will need the toilet roll. Now we have to cut the toilet roll. I will put it a little bit flat, like that when you cut it. So I'm going to do that, just tucking it. So.
Again, be careful. So we do a bit of measuring there. Ideally, you can use a pen to make sure you measure it.
You can, but I'm not going to because I'm not going to bother getting a pen. So then you put it and stick it in there like that. And then you can use the other one. And
so we will have to hot glue this again. So we've got the couple of pieces of box, hot glued to the bottom. And then we're going to be putting those in. Again, you can make as many as you like.
But I'm only doing this because this is how many I have. Remember, I had half of it from last time, but I'm not sure where that went.
Oh, I think it might be on your bed. Or on the floor.
I slept on my bed last night, so it can't be on my bed.
Well, I mean, when I pull out the stuff from underneath your bed, babes, then I think there might be one in there. I thought it was toilet.
I'll go check. I'll be back in a couple seconds.
So she'll be back in a couple of seconds. So I'm just going to show you what we've got. Yeah, because we kind of kept all of this bit inside the house, apart from obviously the greenery and everything as that was out in the shed. But I think it's such a great way to kind of, very inexpensive, and also it's really good for nature. So did you find it else?
The other half.
That was the other half. So we've got another piece. So this is kind of the leftover
from last time when I was making mine.
Because I thought that she had to kind of share it with her friend. Because as I said, they don't want to use toilet paper, toilet rolls. All right, so and put those in.
Yeah, that seems good.
Again, I think hers was slightly different. I don't think we made that many.
I only had 3 of these, but
Okay.
then I realised I didn't have the other half.
I'm going to be putting some hot glue around this. But we will have to reinforce this bit. Obviously, be very, very careful. Okay, go on. Make sure you don't touch that bit, yeah? Very good. So we have to push it down. But we're also going to put a bit of hot glue at the base as it's touching the bottom. And I think last time we didn't glue the bits in properly. So everything, the base, what we did was good. But where did we go wrong, Ella?
You went wrong with when we were putting the pine cones in.
What did we not do?
When we would turn it over, the pine cones would just fall out. So we
good to go,
put the pine cones in individually when we could have done it even easier by doing it loose and then putting them stuck together on the top. So that took forever.
It's alright, put it there and then we'll just, I think we have to be so quick with this. As I said, we can just, I'm gonna put a little bit at the bottom, I think. What I'm gonna do, I will put hot glue at the bottom and kind of smear it around. Because you have to be really, really quick, but it's quite difficult to record with one hand and use the hot glue gun with the other, I have to say. And I think we also hot glued these on the side of the container. I think that's what we did last time, right, Ella?
Yeah.
Did we hot glue it?
Onto the side,
I think so, yeah. So a bit of that. So hot glue, you can push it against. Again, use a stick rather than good thinking. Because I put hot glue there, so push it against there. Good job. How about the other big one? Is this one? Yeah, we've got loads of these like stringy hot glue bits.
I don't know if you can see, but they're like...
Yeah, very fine. I think that's okay. You want to check if they are all stable, if they are not moving around, yeah?
Okay. Upside down, check. Yeah,
Absolutely.
they're all
Very good. So what next, Els?
Next, I'm going to glue this attached to
I
here.
think we can do that later. I think
Okay, yeah, we can do
Yeah,
that.
Ella just wanted to put the final pine cone on the little string.
But we can do that after.
Yeah. So next, what next?
Next.
This is when the fun part will begin. In the meantime, Ella's got a microphone and she lost the little spongy bit. She really enjoys using it. This is your first time, right?
Yeah. I attached it to this pen to make it so I can hold it or attach it onto my denim dress.
All right, so let's crack on with this. So what are we going to do next, Els?
Next.
Shall we start with the pine cones? Because we have to put stuff inside there as well. So I think, what would you like to do next? Pine cone or just put things in there? So I think we need to, so we put those in there. Ella's casually chucking them in, but they have to be glued in.
Not all of them, only the top layer.
Okay, well, apparently not all of them, only the top layer.
That's what we did for mine, all of them, but I realised that we can just do.
So yeah, so when we kind of start filling it up maybe halfway, I think we can start kind of sticking them together. All right? So we're going to start it with this one.
Oh yeah, and you said that you were going to pay me.
Yes. So this video is sponsored by Mummy because
I get paid
she gets
if
paid.
I did it.
She gets paid because I asked her, would I be able to record you when you make the bug hotel for your friend?
And I wasn't sure, but then I chose yes if you're going to pay me, and she's going to pay me £5.
Yeah,
and maybe an extra penny.
So it's costing me £5, everybody. So please make sure you like and subscribe and share this video. I don't normally ask for this, but I will have to pay this girl.
Yeah.
So that's very good. You can start putting things in the paper towel now.
You put this in here.
So we don't really need to glue those bits.
Some more into here.
You can put some bark in there as well. Some mini pine cones can go in there as well. So
I don't have any bark that's small.
So you can kind of go wild with your child, really, whatever you want to do. We've got a little bit of evergreen here as well, else. Maybe you want to put a bit of evergreen in there.
Yeah, that's what I did for some of them.
And also smaller pine cones. I think we've got some smaller pine cones there.
We do. I already put some in there.
Look, I think this would be the perfect size. And Ella's cutting the moss. I could not believe it, how lucky we were with the moss, actually. Because we were thinking, how are we going to get moss?
Because we're not going to buy many things for her.
No, we decided, the only thing, what did we pay for, Ella? What did we buy?
We bought a necklace for her with her initial on it.
So this is actually for her friend's birthday, but we got a necklace. But what I actually meant regarding this project, what did we buy? The only thing we paid for?
The only thing we paid for was the necklace, the initial necklace with her first letter on it.
Anyway, so Ella still keeps talking about what I meant this project, meaning the only thing we bought is a yarn. But what we got for her friend was we got her a little necklace with her name, and because these two girls, they absolutely love playing together. They are tree huggers at school.
Yeah.
And also, what else did we get her apart from the necklace and a bug hotel?
We didn't get her a bug hotel. We made her a bug hotel.
We made her a bug hotel, but what we also got her is so cute. It's actually a drinking station for what animals?
Oh, we also got her a drinking station for bees.
Yes, I never even heard of this until I started
So you put honey water,
sugar water for the bees
into this sipping cup thing, and then they'll go up to and stuck on it, like if it was a water cup with a straw, like.
Yeah, so I went on to Amazon. By the way, this is not sponsored at all. But we went on to Amazon to look for some gift ideas for a friend. She's turning 8 and she's one of Ella's besties. And I thought, okay, Bach Hotel accessories, and it's just really Bach Hotels, really. And there was this bee drinking station. I thought that's really quite quirky. And yeah, they look like little flowers, and you put sugar water in, and it just gives the bees a little place to rest and have a little drinky. So I thought that would
Not
be a
rest.
perfect.
Just have a little drink.
Yes. So not rest, just have a little drink. Is it okay? Good. So Ella is a bee expert, and she's cutting away.
And almost cut my finger twice.
Great. So this is what happens when I keep talking and she's just, going crazy. So how are we getting on in here? Looking pretty good. I think what we can do, we can put more pine cones in there. What do you think, Els?
Yeah.
I think we need to start gluing them down. Okay, ready?
Here.
Okay, so a little bit
Side.
more. Side, okay. So our glue gun is so old now. I think I probably got it when Ella was a toddler for her art and craft, so it's still going strong. But it's really good because any kind of school projects or anything, then I think it's.
I don't have many school projects.
Well,
I
she's
just have homework.
yeah, so she's in year 3 now. So what are we doing else? We're sprinkling everything with green. I think we should put a little bit more pine cones in, and we should stick it maybe to the side. What do you think? Because everything has to stay in place. So
Yeah.
what are we doing next?
Next.
We need to put a little bit of hot glue on the side, I think, because this will come out, babes.
It will come out, but that's
That is just
glued.
good.
See? Look.
Okay, let's do the tip up. Yeah, so.
But if it was on the side.
Yes,
then...
but if she wants to hang it up. So anyway, you can see what I mean about things are falling
you're
out.
not going to hang it up upside down, are you? You're going to hang it up sideways.
So how are we doing
Or put
with
it
the
on the ground
sideways?
sideways, so...
Alright, so you reckon that we don't need to glue it anymore? I think we should glue it. Because can you see these bits?
So you just glue it anyway.
These bits are kind of... So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue gun on the side, and I'm going to ask Ella, because I'm one-handed. Ella, can you please press it to the side? Put pressure on there. Alright, I think we are almost there. So I think what we can do, Ella, if you look, there is a gap. I think we should put a pine cone in
Moss.
there. Pine, yeah, and pine cone as well. We need
I
to.
think just moss. It'll fill up the entire place.
And also, you didn't put any bark in there. You can pack it up.
On the base.
Yeah, you want to put a little bit more bark in there.
Put bark in there too.
Do you want to put a
this
little?
one?
Yeah, you want to put a little bit maybe bark in there to hold this up. And we have to use up the precious moss as well. So you got Ella cutting away the moss. And tuck it all in.
This is very nice. It's even dried out.
It's very nice, yeah. We still got one more piece. I think we should erase that one. We can kind of tuck it around because I think the moss... Yeah, we can just put it in there. There's still plenty of space. I think it's very good. Very good. But since we've got a little bit more bark, I think what we can do, we can maybe put a bit of bark in here to keep the pine cones up. You see what I mean? Try to put... No, don't... You won't be able to cut the bark. So I'm just going to show you. Ella is just trying to cut the bark. She's very ambitious. No, please don't cut the bark, Ella, because you won't be able to do it, babes. You will cut your fingers, though.
What will happen if I do?
You may lose a digit.
Hello, our first visitor.
We've got a first visitor. Lovely. I don't know if you can see it. Where is it?
There, riding away. Come
Yeah,
on.
here we go. First visitor. Lovely. So we are just breaking down some pieces of bark. I said Ella tried cutting it, but I don't think it's a good idea.
Well, what will happen if I cut it? Nothing, right?
No, but I'm just worried about your fingers, babes.
Fingers, but you let me cut everything else, so why would you be especially afraid?
The loose bits aren't going in now. I think she's kind of taken out the bars. I would have left them in, to be honest. But I think because they are loose and they may tip over, she decided...
No loose bits of
No
bark.
loose bits. Okay, so how are we getting on? Would you like to do the tip over thing?
Oh, the microphone. I'm about to tip it over. Tip it once and for all.
Very good. So would you say it's ready?
If you tip it over, nothing should come out unless you need to hang it up upside down, which I don't think you should. So I would just tip it upside down and do it, and nothing should come out.
Very good. So what are we gonna do next?
Next, we're going to add a hanging pine cone.
All right. So choose a big.
Choose the biggest pine cone you've got,
Mhm.
and I'm going to attach it here because it's just a bit.
So you're gonna put a knot on it again, okay? Because the other knot was a bit too chunky. So what I had to do, I had to cut the bit off the Ella did because I was really tangled up and just got stuck to the pine cone, and it was just very messy. So I redid that bit, and I just used a hot glue gun to kind of hot glue the last bit of pine cone to this. But I think it's looking pretty good actually. I think it looks super cute. I hope you enjoyed this video. We definitely had a lot of fun.
We did.
It was a long one though, so I will try to edit it. Make sure it's not a half an hour video. And it's time for me to pay up now because she's sitting next to me waiting for her money. Thank you very much for coming to see us, and thank you very much for coming back. I hope you did enjoy it. We definitely did. I'll come in to see you in the next video, and in the meantime, please don't forget to check out our charity shop outing because we absolutely love it with Ella, and she's a bargain hunter just like me. I'll come in to see you in the next one. Have a lovely day. Take care. Goodbye for now.
Definitely take care.